In today's video, we're going to discuss how to outperform in down markets with Yieldmax and high amounts of margin like I use. Margin and Yieldmax helped me earn over $600,000 per year in dividends, as you can see below, and we're up 40% for the year using Yieldmax and some margin. You can see here we're up 40% approximately, and the NASDAQ is up 31% in comparison. So we're beating all of the indexes with Yieldmax, margin, Cornerstone, Defiance, Roundhill, and some other funds that I use. These dividend funds also help me live free from 9 to 5. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. We're living the FIRE lifestyle here, which means financially independent, retire early, and this was all made possible from my dividends on margin. My margin debt here is around $675,000, as you can see there below. But this margin leverage doesn't hurt me as bad as you would think in down markets, and I have 5 reasons that I want to share with y'all as to how I outperform in down markets with margin and Yieldmax. So first of all, my dividends of over $600,000 per year pay back my margin debt in around 1 year. So for all of those who think that I'm going to get destroyed in a down market, well, every month I get between $40,000 and $50,000 worth of dividends, and that pays my margin debt down by that same amount. Then my account grows by that equivalent amount. So if I were just to collect these dividends for 1 whole year, my margin debt would go away, my account would grow by the equivalent amount, and then I'm left with all these dividend paying assets to myself, paying monthly cash flow for life that qualify to banks for loans. That's how we live the FIRE lifestyle here. It's not only with our dividends and our margin, which the dividends pay back the margin, but these dividends qualify to banks for loans. And then this margin debt doesn't show up on a credit check, so I don't mind using this margin debt to get even more income. So my margin leverage, again, goes away in around 1 year, so I don't understand people who say that I'm going to get destroyed in a down market. If it's a prolonged bear market like we had in 2022, then my dividends will just pay back my margin leverage. If we had a crash overnight, okay, a lot of people say, well, if you have a crash, you're going to get destroyed with your margin leverage. Well, everyone knows here who follows my channel that I keep put options on just in case we have a crash, so I can always withstand over 20% corrections. As you know, my available withdrawal is around $269,000. My account value is over $1 million, but my available withdrawal is $270,000 approximately. So that means I can withstand over 20% corrections at all times. And for every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. So I'm just using a small amount of my $4 million in purchasing power to get ahead. Then my dividends pay back my margin leverage in around 1 year. But again, if we were to have a crash overnight, well, then my put options that I keep on would make me more money than we lost in the event of a crash. My put options were up 500% last week. You saw that in last week's video. So imagine a 20% correction overnight or a 30% crash overnight. We'd make millions of dollars on our put options. If you need help hedging your portfolio like I do with put options, that's in my Volume 5 e-guide. So my dividends pay back my margin leverage in around 1 year, and my margin leverage magically goes away. But if we had a crash overnight, then my put options would make me more money than we potentially lost in the event of that crash. So this is how I outperform in down markets, okay? First of all, I keep my put options on just in case we have a crash, and also my dividends pay back my leverage in around 1 year. So my account's going to grow regardless of what the market does, because this margin leverage that we use is like having a separate account work for our account. So we have 2 accounts working together. That's how I'm always going to outperform the markets, especially when I'm buying index related funds on margin. Well, then we're just going to do what the indexes do times 2. We're at 1% today, as you can see here, or $18,000. And as you can see above, the NASDAQ was up 1.3, the SP was up 1.1. But if you go to a complete view, you'd see that my account was up almost 2% today. And also we outperform because of Defiance. I've mentioned this many times in the past, okay? Defiance goes down less on down days. So I have about 300 grand in Defiance. And again, Defiance falls less on down days. So we outperform with Defiance funds. Funds like QQQY, okay, IWMY. These funds move down less than the market usually on down days. So we also outperform that way. Okay, then of course we have our leap options, all right? I sell these put options here. I lowered my margin by 50,000 the other day just by selling puts on BitX, and it was down less than Bitcoin on a down day. And all these other put options that you see here are leap options. So when I sell them, they lower my volatility. So these leap options that you see here lower my margin, lower my risk, and they lower my volatility. Every year I sell leap options and they lower my margin debt by about 50 to 100,000 every year. And then they lower my risk because they have lower volatility, and they lower my risk because they lower my cost basis. All right, I'm controlling my investments here at much lower prices than everyone else is controlling them at, because they buy them at the market prices. I sell the options, control them at much lower prices than the market prices, lower my margin considerably and my volatility considerably in the process. All right, that's how we outperform on down days. If you need help selling put options like I do to lower your margin, volatility, and your cost basis, that's in my Volume 6 e-guide. So this is also how I outperform on down days. Okay, I sell put options on Yieldmax, I sell put options on Defiance, I sell put options on Bitcoin, and again, that lowered my margin by about $50,000 just by selling an option on BitX. Immediately, I receive $50,000 and lower my risk in the process. Okay, and of course, I outperform on down days because of Cornerstone. All right, Cornerstone is a 4-star fund, and it's usually down less than the indexes on down days, and it moves up or left or right on its 10-year chart, as you can see here on the Morningstar chart. Of course, if you go into E-Trade's chart, you'll see that Cornerstone moves sideways to down on a 10-year chart. That's because you have to factor back in dividends, drips, and rights offerings. Please play Cornerstone properly around its rights offerings. That's how you pocket the 27% premiums that we get every month. So we get 21% dividends from Cornerstone. We get the day's gains that you saw here. We're up 1% approximately the other day. And we get these 27% premiums every month. Okay, 27% premiums on top of our dividends. So we're getting 21% dividends, 27% premiums every month, and we're getting these days gains from Cornerstone. But again, play Cornerstone properly around its rights offerings, and that's in my Volume 4 e-guide. If you need help playing Cornerstone, when you buy my e-guide, you get free access to Discord for life, where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. We have over 1,000 members here in the Discord chat. We're pursuing the FIRE lifestyle, so if you ever have questions about your brokerage account that I can't answer, someone in there most likely can answer for you. Of course, call your broker and ask if they have the special drip for Cornerstone, because not every broker has that special drip for Cornerstone. Not every broker has low maintenance. Okay, so again, if you have questions about your brokerage account that I can't answer, someone there on Discord most likely can answer for you. You also get my phone number for free when you buy my e-guide, so you can call me anytime you have questions about your portfolio. I'm always here to help. And again, Cornerstone moves down less than the market on down days typically, and it drips those dividends down at the bottom. So during 2022, I used that special NAV drip feature to actually lower my risk, because it dollar cost averages for you at the bottom. Okay, it buys the indexes for you at the bottom if you buy Cornerstone, okay, because Cornerstone is the index, and again, it has less volatility than the indexes, but with that special drip, it allows you to buy at the bottom. Okay, dollar cost averages for you at that NAV every month, and that allows you to buy low and sell high. So Cornerstone is a huge piece to what I do, and it's how I outperform on up days and outperform on down days. All right, last but not least, the way that I outperform with Yieldmax during down markets is I watch my position sizes carefully. Okay, what I do with my portfolio is I put all of my money in the index plays up top, the safest plays. I put more money in the index components of Yieldmax, like YMAG and YMAX, even OARC, but then I put a small amount of money in the stocks themselves, like NVIDIA, Palantir, Tesla, whichever one you want to use for Yieldmax. I put small amounts of money in those so that they don't really hurt me on down days. And what I do with my position sizes is I allow them to compound up, be big enough to compound up and help me in an up market. But if we have a down market, I keep those position sizes carefully managed to where they don't really hurt me in a down market. They decompound. They decompound in such a way on down days that after a few down days, the steam has been taken out of those positions, so they really can't hurt me anymore as we go lower. So I manage my position sizes very carefully to where, again, they hurt me some on one down day, but after a couple of down days, they don't really hurt me anymore. So that's how I don't get destroyed in a down market with my margin, is I manage those position sizes carefully. They don't hurt me much after a few down days, and then I can sell a quarter or a third or a half as needed. Okay, and that way I lower my margin in the process. So if I were ever to get close to a margin call, I can always just sell from any of these stocks as needed, and I sell from my highest maintenance names at the bottom. Okay, Cornerstone is 30% maintenance, but many Yieldmax funds are 50% maintenance, and some Yieldmax funds are 100% maintenance at times of increased volatility. So I'll sell those Yieldmax names. I'll keep them small, keep the position sizes small. They don't hurt me much after a couple down days, and then I can always just sell again half or a quarter or a third of those higher maintenance Yieldmax positions to raise a ton of available drawback, stop the bleeding in my portfolio, lower my margin, and then when the market rallies, I can just buy these Yieldmax funds right back again. If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my volume 3 e-guide. Maintenance is the whole key to what I do here, okay? Because it keeps my available withdrawal high when I buy low maintenance names. We have over 20% cushion from a margin call. I can still always pay my bills out of my E-Trade account because all my bills are automated out of this account. I have an E-Trade checking card. I can buy whatever I want with this purchasing power. I can buy cars, clothes, shoes, whatever I want. And then my dividends just pay back my debt at the end of the month. But I'm never planning on selling because, again, my put options and my dividends should take me out of a margin call before that capitulatory event were to ever occur for me. All right, so if you need more help doing what I'm doing, email me for my e-guides at aikentod48@gmail.com. We're outperforming all of the indexes with Yieldmax and margin. We're up 40% for the year, and even on down days, we've still outperformed. Go see my past videos. We outperformed in 2022, and we outperformed during the recent August correction that we had. Remember, when you buy my e-guides, you get free access to Discord for life, where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offer announcement. We also have all these other channels here for your enjoyment, should you ever want to check them out. We have a Roundhill channel, Yieldmax channel, you name it. All right, and also you get my phone number when you buy my e-guides. Discord and my phone number come free for life when you buy my e-guides. All right, if you like the video and you want more content like this, click like or subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon, everyone. Thanks.